Hello, 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 and welcome to the DJ Force 10 in Conversation, episode 108. My special guest this week on these lockdown special shows that I've got releasing for you. I have Sydney Fate. They are a band coming out of Wales right now. They're about to release their new album called Silicon Nitride. And it is available on Eclipse Records. I've had a few of their artists on before. If you want to go back and have a listen to those, that would be fantastic, and support these bands because it is a great development label, as well as being just a straight up nice guys as well. But the interview, it was great. I had a real good fun time doing it. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. But yeah, we will reconvene on the one I think I've got tomorrow coming out. Where are we going? We got Devil's Skin tomorrow. They got an album out on Friday as well. So you got a whole plethora of bands and music to pick from while you've got some downtime. I just want to have a shout out to those in special services and stuff like that have to remain working to help us get through this lockdown, this pandemic, if you will, worldwide. Every health worker, care worker, retail worker, delivery driver, especially the ones around here that have been delivering us like the bits we need. The people working in the stores as well. I ventured out to one of them and it wasn't a pretty thing, but you know, you got to give these people their due. They're there and they are helping us, and you know, they deserve a lot of applause. I know the NHS, we did one for the NHS the other night, but like all the people that are still working during this thing, putting their own health at risk to make sure people are being fed and whatnot and being cared for and all that kind of stuff. So I just want to give a shout out to those people. So yeah, big up you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this. This is, like I say, this is Sydney Fate. Yeah, coming up right now. Enjoy. Welcome to the show, guys. We've got Bailey, Adam, and Jan from the band Sydney Fate. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Hey, cool. So, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. The sun's shining, which is pretty cool.
I've been up for my one hour of exercise today, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Good. Sticking to the rules.
Of course.
What about yourself? How's your day been, Barnaby?
Yeah, not too bad. I actually ventured out today, the first time since the lockdown was announced, and I went shopping, which was an experience. Cause
how was the toilet paper situation?
Actually, that's fine. They've managed to keep that pretty well marshalled wherever I've been. So yeah, no, we're not wanting for toilet paper right now.
What,
so
like one paper each, or
yeah, pretty much that, or you know, a section off a t-shirt, or if you're lucky, a tie. So
nice.
Depending on, because I'm in Surrey, so it's quite posh. So yeah,
still ties.
It's the most comfortable way. So yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. It was quite an experience shopping, seeing everyone staying 2 meters apart, wearing masks, gloves, and generally walking around Sainsbury's. It was weird.
No, yeah, like out of a film or something, isn't it? It's,
yeah,
quite crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's just really weird. But apart from that, I got most of what we needed. It's because we've been unable to get like a delivery slot with like the delivery, like, you know, Amazon Prime or whatever. So
yeah, for sure.
But how's it? It's Cardiff you're in, right?
Yeah, Cardiff, nice sunny Cardiff.
How is the general sort of like atmosphere around there at the moment?
I think obviously since that sort of like that speech they gave the other day.
Yeah.
Everyone's gone into a bit more of an understanding panic, I think. You know, like, we gotta go to the shops, get everything now. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, we're pretty. No, I wouldn't say organized, but everything seems under control.
I'm terribly organized. I'm just living day by day. I'm like popping down to my corner shop every day. Just it's so bad. Shouldn't be living life on the edge. I feel like I'm doing good because I'm not overbuying, but at the same time, I'm definitely not buying at the same time.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I do want to venture out, but I don't know. I know. I work in like my normal day job is like a retail job, so thankfully they're closed.
Yes.
Nice.
And they're paying us.
It's great.
Yeah, and they're paying us as well, which is great. So I'm not losing a job. I'm not losing money or anything. But yeah, every day I deal with people like head on, and the nature of my job is to like, well, I fix phones basically for one of the large tech companies, which I can't really name in the podcast, but they're very well known and very fruity, if you will. So, yeah, nice. I gave it away. But I basically handle and fix people's phones, tablets, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So every day I'm in contact with people, or I was in contact with people, like hundreds of people over the week. And I'm surprised I hadn't come down with anything sooner. So, or when this kicked off, thankfully, the company were like, you know what, we're going to shut down all our stores and then see what happens.
It's probably the right move, man, you know, is to make sure everyone's safe and everyone's doing their thing. So
yeah, totally.
You know, everyone's... You know, I've noticed there's a lot more people out and about, which is kind of obviously bad, but at the same time, you don't see anyone out on the road, you know, so there's a lot less people going for like these long haul journeys where they're going out for a day, and people are more so, you know, deciding to go out for like an hour walk like they've been told, you know. And
it's kind of like promoting health, you know, like you get out there, go for a walk, do some exercise, and people are making the most of it because they can't really do anything else, you know. Yeah,
no, I mean, thankfully I've got a dog, so it gives me an excuse to go out. Like just for a walk, but I've got my kids as well, who I let them take the dog out as well, so they get their sort of like half an hour of outside time, if you will.
You get the dog to leave the house, and you get the kids to leave the house. It's great.
I know, it's good, and I can sit down, I can play FIFA, so it's pretty good. Right. But cool. Yeah. So I mean, away from sort of current events and onto other current events, you guys have got an album coming out.
Yeah.
Next week, I believe.
Yeah, Friday the 3rd of April, man.
And it's called Silicon Nitride.
That's
cool.
That's correct, Silicon Nitride.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And what I've heard the 3 preview tracks that you've got up online at the moment,
cool.
Which is it Tascenda?
That's it. Nailed it first time.
Brilliant. Sound Alive. And Oceans with Sam Graves. Is that right?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool, excellent. I'm glad I got that first one right. I was just like...
man, that's the struggle. I've heard Takenda a lot.
Yeah, I almost called it that.
Made the right choice, man.
Excellent. So, before we get on to sort of like details about the album as a whole, can we get some sort of background on you guys? Like how long you've been around and where you sort of like, where your influences lie and everything?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll jump into where we're from. So obviously we're all from we're from very similar areas. So we grew up in like the Caerphilly area, which is like a small town in South Wales.
Yeah.
Just not too far from Cardiff, about half an hour. We started the band. We kind of got serious with this lineup. I think it was summer 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's kind of when we started writing these songs and started planning in like studio time and stuff like that. A few of us moved up to Cardiff then, just to venture on, obviously, to those more diverse music scene. They've got more venues and more bands going around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've kind of been going for since summer 2018 now, so just shy of 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Just shy of 2 years. Influence wise, it's quite a lot. I mean, we're all into the same sort of music, but we're all pretty diverse as well, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. I mean, I love dubstep.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to admit that. But no, I think we all come from the same sort of background music wise. The sort of heavier metalcore for sure. I mean, there's definitely elements of that. I mean, that's kind of what we're trying to kind of do. But yeah, I mean, Ad, what would you say your kind of genres were, man? Your influences?
I mean, I've always been interested in like the festival scene, so like going to places like Download and stuff like that has always been a massive inspiration for me. So seeing bands like recently, I remember one of my favorite bands that have recently come around, Alexis on Fire.
Oh, yep.
Now I really take massive inspiration off those guys because obviously they use a similar kind of idea where they've got the screaming vocals and they've also got the singing.
Like I Prevail again, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely take big inspiration from them. I love their energy live as well. The Dillinger Escape Plan, they're another one for me, but like not so much like the way they sound, because obviously they're very out there musically, but you know, their stage performances for me, that energy that they have, that's something that's really important to me, you know.
Yeah, no, they're one of the. I saw that band live at Reading Festival.
Oh, was that in 2017?
No, this is going way back.
Oh, when they were really, they had their energy.
Yes, they're on the main stage. They were opening the main stage, and the singer decided to take a shit on his t-shirt. and then threatened to. Well, he put it back on, which was brave enough because he started retching. But he then threatened to jump into the crowd with it on.
Wow,
you would have loved that, Adam.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the most memorable moments from that festival. That and one of my friends' bands were playing the main stage as well, and they had the like whole crowd sort of like jumping and like making pyramids and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what we're looking. You know, this is now where we're going to be applying for festivals and things like that.
Yeah,
you know, and hopefully we're gonna start to catch on to some stuff. You know, we've been asked to do a few things already.
Cool.
So hopefully when it's all back up and running, we'll be able to jump back.
Because obviously with all this going on at the moment, you know, they've stopped everything now.
Yeah.
You know, they've literally they're not organising anything else. This is it.
No.
This is it.
So we, you know, hopefully now as well, over the next couple of weeks, we can start to get more and more stuff out. You know, in support of, you know, people being at home. You know, try and get, you know, fun with it. We recently had like this video out where we've just shown just some of the great times we've had over the last year.
That was a good video.
And where can people check that out?
So that's on our Facebook at the moment. It's like. Throughout the year, we've just like we had like people come down, obviously take photos, photography, videography, and stuff like that. But we also took a lot of like before shows, after shows, backstage, you know, nights out on actual personal phones.
Yeah,
just showing the sort of side that people don't tend to sort of see much of us, because like Adam was saying earlier on, we do try and make sure our live shows are as energetic as possible. We're all moving around, jumping around, and having a good time. So we thought we'd take all of the footage from our actual personal phones, smash them all into one. I think it's like 6 minutes. With a video.
It's like 8. It's like 8 minutes long. I told you to like cut it up, but you were like, no, send it all out.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, for sure. But yeah, I mean, we had a few people message us like, you know, this is awesome. Can't wait to see you guys again. And we're like, oh, you know, we might be making another one at the moment with the leftover clips. I won't spoil it, but that might be in works right now.
Yeah,
cool. Have you got any like music videos coming or for the album?
Well, we've actually had our music videos out now. So we released our first music video
January.
January for Sound Alive.
Yeah.
We recorded that up in Caerphilly Mountain, actually.
Close to home.
Yeah, really close. And it was cool because where we recorded it as well is somewhere where we used to go quite often as kids, you know. So being able to record a music video there is like, you know, it's really nice.
Amazing.
You know?
We had the Senders one as well. That was probably like my favorite one, I think, recording that.
Yeah.
It was wild how everything panned out, but it was pretty cool.
Only because we could like drive the bands just straight in, like in the woods. You kind of have to carry all of your equipment in the middle of the woods, you know.
So quick that video actually as we're on the topic, because I think you might like this one. So when we went to actually film the first music video, it wasn't actually meant to be Sound Alive, and it wasn't actually intended to be recorded in a forest. It was meant to be Descender, which we've just released for now. And we get to the actual site that we're meant to be filming, and it was actually like a closed, abandoned village.
Yeah, I think it was like, you know, like kind of like Butlins or something like that, but really, really small and Welsh, you know?
Okay.
It was cool. It had like an abandoned church. It had like an abandoned swimming pool, entertainment center. And we were like, yeah, we actually had like a photo shoot there like a few weeks beforehand. So we scouted the place out and we were like, yeah, this has to be the first video. But the day we went down, it was quite weird. So we had the film crew come down from like the Midlands. Life is Art Visuals, really cool guys, like absolutely superb what they do.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And we get there and like all of a sudden we notice there's like 100 people, like security. There's loads of people walking around. The whole site's blocked off, and we're like, this is a bit strange. What's going on? It turns out they were filming something else there, so we basically got the middle finger, and we had to sort of panic, and within a couple of minutes think, right, tell you what, we'll do Sound Alive. Where do we originally want to do it? Because we haven't really spoke about it at that time much at all. But yeah, we ended up taking all the equipment. It was meant to be about 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk into the forest.
Yeah.
Meant to be. Ended up turning into like a 2-hour trip with like 10 trips back and forth with a generator, equipment, amps. Yeah, man. And like as soon as we get there, the guy turns around and he's like, "Oh, okay, we got like a couple of hours after sunlight. Jump straight into it." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, like, can I just wipe my head first? I'm sweaty." And he's like, no, come on. So, yeah, that was a fun experience. The other music video was nothing like that, which was...
no, it was like coffee.
Yeah, it was nice. It felt luxury completely. It's real fun, man. Like, really cool memories, which is good.
Excellent. And Jan, is he still there?
He's run off. I don't know where
he's run off. Okay, I was going to ask him what his influences were, but if he's gone, he's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, wait, there he is.
Hey,
what's your the Gloria question for you, man? So sorry. Yeah, do you want to fire away the question again?
Yeah, no, I was just asking the guys what their sort of influences were.
Oh, that.
You got so
huge
much.
fan of like Sophie and Lorenzo Sani.
Yeah,
it's like really sort of out there left field like music.
Cool.
But no, I also a huge fan of like Architects, Bring for Horizon, Between the Buried and Me.
Nice.
Sort of more like classically heavy stuff as well.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. So, I mean, let's get back onto the album itself. Like we say, it's out on the 3rd of April, and it's via Eclipse Records.
That's correct, yeah.
How did that relationship come about? Because I've worked with Kenny for a while, sort of bringing bands in for like interviews and things like that, and he was very early on sending me stuff when I started my radio show initially. And I was just curious because obviously they're based out in America. What the sort of like how the process was for you, and how did the relationship kind of turn into you signing for them?
Yeah, no, that's a cool question. So when we finished the EP, we kind of decided to ride the high on that, do quite a few shows. After a few months, we sort of had that sit down conversation. Right, where do we want to go next? What's the plan? What is the next move? So. We kind of thought to ourselves, right, get some more studio time, get an album sorted. And we kind of researched into, we spent a long time researching into like really cool labels that we felt kind of shared the same values, could show us a bit more, not just as a band, but as musicians as well, help us progress, develop. Yeah. So yeah, after like a long time, maybe like a month, maybe a bit more than that, of like researching all these labels and these people that are out there. We narrowed them down and we sent out a few demos, we sent a few emails, and yeah, like a few weeks later, we had one back from Chris, obviously the founder of Eclipse Records, and I spoke to Kenny as well once or twice via email. But yeah, he was really cool, and he was just like such a nice guy, and he was like, yeah, I've heard what you guys are doing at the moment. I really, I'm interested in having a chat with you guys. Can we set something up? And we're like, yeah, for sure. So we had like an initial meet over Skype. It was really cool. We had the whole band over, made like a little day of it, and it sort of developed from there. Like, and he's just such a helpful, he's such a cool guy.
Yeah. Any questions, just like have a chat to him. He's just always willing to chat, and he's one of those guys who's like unbelievably busy, like, but he always finds time for you, and that's that's what's really nice.
I've always found them a good developer of bands. Like the sort of quality of their like the send outs I get from them, there's always that sort of like level of like say quality with it.
Well, you put time into it,
and they were part of I used to live in Florida, in Tampa, and they came in and we had like this, I didn't, but someone had a like a showcase night for a lot of the bands in that area of the world, and Eclipse Records were represented there as well, which I thought was really good. They one of them made the trip down from New York and like officiated one of the sort of like development stages and stuff, which was really cool. And I've just found them one of those like labels that are good at developing bands.
That's it, yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like what was key for us at the time. It's like we knew kind of where we wanted to go. They share like some really cool visions, and we share some ideas. And yeah, that development side was very vital for us, and they literally just handed it out. They were really cool people, especially Chris and Kenny, like you said. Yeah, so we're ecstatic, man. Like we're well happy. We're working with them at the moment. They're a really good fit, especially with what we're trying to do at the moment now. So yeah, I guess we couldn't really be happier, you know.
Cool. Excellent. Well, let's actually talk about the album now. I know I've kind of skipped around it until now. Kind of teased it in, but we've mentioned obviously the 3 tracks you've got out already. What can everyone else expect from the album? Where does it go? Does it have a sort of a general sort of like theme to it, or are the songs sort of all their own sort of standalone songs?
Yeah, so I'll jump on this one again. So with the theme. There is definitely very like a lot of similarities, probably the best way to put it. I mean, if we go off just like the first single we released, which is Sound Alive, it was written obviously during a tough place, and I think a lot of the songs that we write, they tend to be about like difficult situations, just very very real situations that we all go through, things like that. It's more of the best way to put it would be it's like our own experiences put down into music, and our kind of goal with that is for people to kind of relate to, I guess, is probably the key factor for us. We kind of want to send that message that, you know, we all go through these hard times, but there is good times ahead, you know?
Yeah.
And I think with music as well, being such a powerful statement alone, you can overcome certain situations and times that we feel, and it has such an impact on how people see things. We thought that was probably the best way to interpret that, and how we felt and how we got over things was through music. So we kind of wanted to share that with everyone else, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, common themes, you know, getting over hard times, going through day-to-day problems, I guess, were the best way again. It's just sort of that message, we understand a lot of people do go through a lot of stuff, and we just want to kind of focus on that for the first album, you know?
Cool. Are there any like songs you can't wait for people to hear? Obviously, you've released your sort of like your lead songs from it, but are any of the others that haven't been released yet that you're really like, you know, I hope that it really hits home?
Yeah, I mean, saying that, we actually have a song called Home, and
oh yeah, we do. Yeah, I can see it right in front of me. Yes.
And I want to see what we get as reaction to that, because when we get our reviews back, we got a lot of people saying they're enjoying the song, they're enjoying the chorus and stuff like that, you know. I mean, Home for sure. I'd love to see how that one goes, because it was the first song written before I even joined the band, and then when I joined, I kind of added my own little kind of twist onto it with the scream vocals.
Definitely, yeah.
But since making that change, obviously, it's changed the song, and it'd be nice to see, you know, how people
react to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess one for me would probably be Chelsea Grin. I mean, it's definitely the most.
Different.
Yeah, it's just very different.
It's the acoustic song.
Yeah, it's a lot softer, to the other songs. It just focuses on vocals, clean vocals, and one guitar, and it's very different. I don't want to kind of give too much away at this moment in time, but it's definitely the softest one from the album. It's something that we're looking forward to seeing how people react to. I
mean, people could preview it on iTunes at the moment anyway, can't they?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely recommend
it. Yeah, you can like go onto iTunes and like the whole album, you can like preview it.
Okay.
I only found this out like the other day. I was like, huh?
That's pretty wild. That's cool.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm on Apple Music right now, which is the streaming service, and it's only got the 3 tracks that you have available, but iTunes is a separate animal, so that would be like, if they were to purchase it, I think they give you like a 20-second cut of the songs.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm with.
Yeah, so it's no, but that's cool. I'm really looking forward to hearing the whole thing. But I like to concentrate on the tracks that are out there at the moment before going into the rest of it, just to sort of get you guys to, hype it up a bit. So cool. I can't hear you. Hello. Hello? Oh, yeah, it's really quiet.
Oh, sorry. I think signal okay.
Nothing's changed.
There we go.
Oh, we good?
Yeah.
Let's have the up button.
And I can hear myself as well.
Oh, sweet.
I'm not sure what's changed.
Okay. It just went really quiet. It might have been the signal, so...
Yeah, it's probably our signal, man. We're all good. As long as you can hear us.
Yeah, no, I can hear you, and I can edit it. It's all good, so that's fine.
Legend.
Cool. So, you guys are... I believe I was looking at your bio. You're a 7-piece? Is that right?
Yeah, new edition now. We're now a 7-piece. Thanks to Yayan coming in and adding his flair to the music, we've decided to
expand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things now. We find it hard to play on small stages, so it's a bit more fun. We get a bit more interactive, which is nice. But yeah, definitely growing, aren't we?
There's more energy now, though.
Yeah,
more people, more energy. You know what I mean? I'm thinking we get more people.
We're going to be like one of those bands, like 25 members, man, I think.
There was like old performance artists with like drums and like bins and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's us in the future.
I was going to say 2 more in your Slipknot, just without the masks. So
we're going to have more members in Slipknot. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you fit on stages, because it must be a bit of a trial. But obviously, if you've got two vocalists, which both of you are you free of instruments, both of you, or do one of you?
I am now, which is cool. Yeah.
Okay, so, cool.
Before we had Dominic Evans join. He's our newest guitarist. He's been with us since just before the recording of the album.
Okay.
So he's currently taken over for guitar for myself. So yeah, me and Adam just get to run around and kind of like just attack each other on stage now. It's just vocalists, which is fun. Nice. Yeah, no, I've always liked bands with 2 vocalists, because it just gives that like a good dynamic on stage. It's interesting. It's different, isn't it? And it comes with a different set of challenges as well. Yeah. I mean, I remember back when like Raging Speedhorn were kicking around. I mean, they still are now, to be honest with you. But they had 2 vocalists. There's a band at the moment called Seething Akira. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're kind of based down in Portsmouth. Okay. But, they have 2 vocalists. They're a very different style. They're kind of more on the sort of like electronic rock kind of style. So a little bit of Prodigy, bit of Beastie Boys, that kind of style. So, but they all have these different dynamics and stuff. What are your hopes for the album? What obviously it's kind of with the current climate, it's very difficult to kind of sort of assess really what you can do. But I mean, so far you've mentioned a couple of the reviews that have come in. How have they been? Yeah, we've had some really nice feedback so far. I mean, obviously we completely appreciate, we need to get more songs out at this point, because these songs that we've had them for like a year and a half, a year and a half. And for me, we need to, on our stage shows now, be showing them what we've been writing over the last 2 or 3 months or so, Okay. Since Yayan, I think what I was trying to say is since Yayan has joined, we've been working on a lot more music quite recently. Just trying to expand our sound, I guess. Like, obviously, we're growing in members. We want to try and explore different avenues, different sort of, not genres, but just kind of steal the best bits from other genres, chuck them into ours, and kind of develop and progress from there. So now that Yayan's joined, we've introduced like quite a lot of synth. There's some amazing stuff that Yayan's currently doing at the moment, which is absolutely awesome. Which people can, and when we are jumping back into the gigs and stuff like that, when everything's cleared, people can see and witness firsthand. Obviously, from this album, what we're kind of hoping is people to get an understanding of where we're coming from, where the roots are set from, and what we're about. And then as soon as that sort of ban of gigs is up and lifted, it's going to go out and absolutely destroy the dance floor. Oh, I can't wait to get back on gigs. Yeah, no, it's been killing me. It's been 4 days and already we're absolutely devastated. We're all gutted. It's crazy. I mean, I've had obviously with the downtime, I've had an influx of people I'm interviewing. Yeah, for sure. And everyone is just sort of like, it's only been a couple of days, but they just like, obviously their tours or whatever have been postponed, or like even their band practice, they can't do that because people can't get to, or shouldn't be getting together. And it's just, it must be so frustrating. I mean, for me, it's great because it's kind of like giving me this opportunity to
actually reach out to a lot of you at times when normally I'd be busy or you guys would be busy.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's good because obviously people are wanting to listen to stuff, and if like you got fans out there who can't go see you play, they can listen to things like this. Obviously on the show I'll play some of your music as well, but if they wanted to know more about the album, things like that, they've got this sort of like this outlet here, like through any other interviews you do as well, and it just gives people a little bit of distraction.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of vital at this sort of time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. But I've got a couple of questions left for you, if that's all right. These are more sort of individual-based questions. So take your turns in answering them. But this is sort of like my set questions that I always ask anyone that comes on my show, just because it sort of gives me an element of discovery, but also, gives other people that as well. So first things first, I'll go with you, Bailey, to start with, and you other guys can think about this so you get the advantage. What are your 3 top albums that have kind of influenced you to be the musician that you are now, or even the person that you are now?
Oh wow, that's a good question, man. I mean, straight off the bat, straight away, all-time favorite album, Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses.
Excellent.
I think every single song on that album is absolutely superb. Not one filler on it.
Nope.
So obviously, from growing up from like sort of 80s glam metal, I've actually adored that sort of music, that style. And I think for like the first year of me being able to play guitar, I'm like self-taught. I could only play like the intro riff for Sweet Child of Mine. My mum hated it because that's all she heard for about a year from my bedroom. so yeah, definitely that. I was, do you know what? It's hard because there's so many bands out there at the moment, like not just the moment, like that have inspired our sounds. Let's have a little think now. I'd probably say Breaking Benjamin, Phobia.
Okay, cool.
That's probably an album for me. It's just when I first heard that album, it was a good few years ago now. It's just had just the sort of vocals, the melodies, some really, really cool stuff that I kind of wanted when I was younger to be like, oh, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to sound a bit like that too. And I'm going to throw like a curveball out there at the moment. I don't think anyone's really going to expect this. I wouldn't say necessarily inspired growing up, but I mean now as where music's going, as far as progression's going, I'd probably say new artists like Billie Eilish. I think what she's doing at the moment is absolutely awesome. And I'm not actually worried. I'm not worried about that. So I know it's a totally different genre, but yeah, I think there's some really, really cool elements in what she's doing at the moment, cool. And I would like to explore that in the future for sure.
Excellent. Let's go with Adam next. Same question.
Yeah, let's take something a bit more serious now.
Nice.
So I mean, like when I was growing up, I mean, a lot of like my favorite type of music is like more emo music. Emo was my thing. So like Billy Talent 2 for me was a massive album when I first heard that. So definitely chuck that one on the list.
Cool.
The Dillinger Escape Plan as well. I've actually forgotten the name of the album off the top of my head though.
Is it 99%?
No, it's actually not that album.
Oh, okay.
It's actually not that album. I did really enjoy that album, but I feel like it was a bit. Obviously, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. But I liked melodies as well.
Yeah.
Hence being in this band.
You sat here googling this.
I'm not. You're a liar.
Calculating Infinity, Miss Machine.
Option Paralysis.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to go for a weird one.
Yeah, why not, man?
My third one as well.
So.
No, not Skrillex, you're mad.
I love a bit of Skrillex, actually.
I'm going to Google my last one as well. My remembering of names of things is absolutely terrible.
It's true, he forgets his name after a few drinks as well. I've seen it.
Okay. Oh, I'm actually going to go with the song. So it's the song "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised" by Jill Scott Heron.
Okay.
And it's a fantastic piece of poetry as well.
Yep.
And that's definitely something that we incorporate into our music as well. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. And if Ian's there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Hey there. I say for my first choice, Common Dreads by Shikari.
Oh, banging out.
Yeah, no, I just keep going back to it and listening to it over and over and over again, and I'm like, yeah, this is sick. Second choice, I guess, would be Slipknot with first album.
Cool.
Yeah, just because that was like the first time I encountered like insane metal like that in the charts. It was like
intensity.
How I went platinum was bad shit to me. Like, fucking awesome album.
Album.
Yeah, and then I guess the third choice, just throwing a curveball, would be Kai Winston's No World as Good as My Own.
Okay.
It came out like earlier this year. They got like this whole Kyannis Katsy style sort of music video thing. So it's like an hour and a half long. You just sit down, zone into it on YouTube. And yeah, it's a really nice journey it takes you on.
Cool.
Sweet.
Do you take your this is for all of you again, your influences from any of the other sort of like Welsh metal emo bands that are out there? Because I'm aware of quite a few.
Love it.
You've obviously got Funeral for a Friend come immediately to mind.
Yeah.
And like good friends of mine, I got Skin Dread as well. They sort of it's a bit more sort of like the reggae punk metal type thing.
Cool.
And I'm just trying to think of other ones. Obviously, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. They're a bit more recent, but they're the sort of Welsh side of things. And you got like older ones like Dopamine and stuff. If you're aware of them,
Yeah. Skin Dread as well.
Yeah, he says.
I've been set in Dread to do so.
You okay there, Adam?
No.
I'm a huge fan of Skin Dread because like, I find what they do to be like really exciting and interesting.
Yeah,
like,
they are
the
stage shows as well.
They just don't seem to age because it's still exciting to me. Like, I'm not saying that other bands age, but
no.
No, I mean, to be honest, they haven't. When I was in my band, this was a good. We're looking at about 15. Almost 20 years ago now. We actually played with Skin Dread on a bunch of their first sort of London shows.
Oh, nice.
And the energy that they had in those shows, it was like we're playing the Underworld in Camden, and there was like 30 people there, 40 people, and normally that sort of like in that sort of show, it kind of feels a bit like the crowd are sort of there with their arms crossed, or it just feels a bit empty. But they managed to turn that into an absolute fucking party. And then every time I've watched them and followed them and gone to see them, like the crowds have got bigger and bigger and bigger, but their energy is the same. They can command a crowd of like 10, and they can also command a crowd of like 200,000, which is fucking insane.
So, man. No, that's tight. That's really cool. Yeah. No, Skin Dread, I'm a big fan of Skin Dread.
Yeah, I've seen them like 3 or 4 times now. First time I saw them was in Download, which is weird because they're local to me. They're like only up the road. It's in Newport they live in. But yeah, first time I saw them was in Download, and they were definitely like, what those bands you get at festivals that are just the bands you have to see at festivals.
Yeah,
they're one of those ones for me.
Yeah, definitely. They're the sort of. I mean, I was glad they got like a main stage shot from both Reading and Download in the past couple of years as well, because they're certainly suited to it, just to command that size of audience.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's just because I know how hard they've worked as well, like to get where they are and what they've gone through, which has been like they've been up, they've been down. They've had the sort of like trials and tribulations, if you will, of being in a band, but they managed to keep the same lineup and keep going.
That momentum, yeah, sure.
And it's just amazing to watch. And I was just sort of curious because obviously, they're from Wales, and I know Wales is a big place, but I just didn't know if you guys were like, connected with them in any way, or just sort of like, aware of that sort of heritage that you guys have there.
We're definitely big fans. I mean, as far as like, we were at Fuel Rock Club a few weeks ago with a few members from Funeral for a Friend. They dropped by, and Ramesh as well. He's the one who produced the Ammo album, Break the Horizon. All really cool people, really nice and chill. I'd probably say both my Valentine's another really big one for me personally.
I grew up with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I think it was like. Well, If My Valentine was one of those sort of bands where I would just play over and over and over for like a certain period, like maybe months at a time, and just listen to nothing else.
I had that phase too.
Yeah,
for
sure, man. What an album that was.
CD player.
That's it, yeah, literally. Yeah. See, but yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of cool bands here. I mean, some of them is different genre, like Stereophonics. I mean, they're nothing genre-wise sort of similarities, I don't think, but they're really cool. I think respect what they've done.
Yeah, ballads for days.
Every day. But yeah.
Yeah, I was really into Funeral for a while, like during my prime time of my life when I was like really into.
You're like older though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sure. Nice.
No, I've definitely had the privilege of like meeting one or two of the Funeral people when they're about, but yeah, nothing like memorable. It's like
cool,
nice guys and very friendly and like helpful.
Yeah, no, they were really nice. I mean, I like with Funeral for a Friend. I actually weirdly. I when I previously had an interview-based sort of system, I had a fanzine back when I was like, well, younger, let's put it that way. I got the opportunity to actually interview Funeral for a Friend. But it was at their management office in London, which was at the time Sanctuary, which is like one of the huge management companies that look after like Iron Maiden and Celine Dion, or did at the time, Celine Dion and all that kind of stuff, sort of big time agency. So I had to go there and walk through this like very kind of like Hall of Fame of like silver and platinum records of all these artists. And then I got to interview two of them in this room. And it was the day they signed their major record deal.
Oh, never.
And I was just kind of assuming that it was news. And they were like very skeptical about like what was actually said and what wasn't, because I don't think the ink had dried, basically. But no, it was really weird. It was one of the weird memories I had of them. I saw them live, almost actually got the opportunity to tour with them at one point, but unfortunately it fell through. But yeah, no, they were really nice guys. Every time I've met them, they've been really cool.
Yeah, well, I think actually the old guitarist was due to do a little chat in my college before. Yeah, he didn't end up coming though, which was a shame. One of my tutors was meant to organise it. It was a shame because I was doing music tech in college at the time. And apparently he was in the loop with it all,
Okay. Well, that's cool. Or not cool, but,
No, it's cool. Not cool, man.
It could have been really cool.
It would have been cool.
It would have been cool. Yes, that's right. So I've got one last question for you guys. Mm-hmm. Again, it's individual based. What are your hobbies away from music? So when you're not writing, recording, obviously not playing live right now, what do you guys do to kind of distract yourself or get sort of like wind down?
What, so you mean stuff that isn't music?
Yes.
There's stuff that isn't music.
There is stuff that isn't music.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my downtime, I don't really sort of ever step away from
music.
Like,
you don't
I literally just like jam demos and play with like quirky patches in my house.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I watched a cool documentary last night. It was about a guy who had like 500 lions.
Oh, Tiger King.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I'm not going to like spoil it, but it's really good. Yeah, something like
that's a good one. Yeah, trash TV. We watch a lot of trash TV.
Yeah.
No, I found out that Tiger thing, where I lived in Tampa, apparently part of it was filmed literally just down the road from where I lived, because I had a cat sanctuary, or a big cat sanctuary.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, apparently I didn't obviously realise at the time, but yeah, I haven't watched it yet. But I've been told that it was filmed down the road from where I used to live. So
nice.
That's crazy.
Nice.
I recommend it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I will get round to it. So
before music kind of took over my life, I kind of used to be athletic a little bit. I did a bit of rugby. I mean, not anymore. I don't think I would do any sort of exercise.
You can do a handstand as well, couldn't you?
I can do handstands on a skateboard.
Okay.
We skate around. You know, the sun's nice. We grab the balls, go for little cruises, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just sort of taken over life now. You know, what we're doing at the moment. We're constantly trying to progress and like do stuff. Like always seeing the new content. So we're always writing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're not releasing anything, we're writing. We're away doing stuff with the band, thinking of different sort of content to release online. So yeah, I mean, it is such a big part of our life now. Like things do get kind of, it's kind of pushed back, I guess. But yeah, that's literally it. Like terrible TV. We had to go for a few drinks every now and then and just write music. I guess that's probably it now.
Ah, cool. Cool.
Yeah, and we all do it all at the same time as well. I won't lie to you.
I was going to say, is it like a communal thing, or is it, individual? Like one of you's drinking, one of you's writing, the other one's skating somewhere,
and then just swap every hour.
Yeah.
We're more of a 7-piece gang rather than a band. We're always just together, non-stop, doing the same thing. Except for right now, because obviously what's going on, climate and stuff. But...
Yeah, but you could do stuff for just an hour.
Yeah, an hour.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to let you go for the rest of your evening. I really appreciate you guys chatting to me.
No, thanks for having us down, man. I really appreciate that. Awesome. Man, appreciate your time, Barnaby. That's awesome, dude.
No worries. Bailey, Adam, Jan, thank you. And good luck with your album.
Thank you very much, man. Dude. You have a good one.
Oh, have a good one, man. Thank you.
Ta-ra, dude.
Bye-bye.